Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. And today I'm going to be taking a look at a brand new 2023 release from one of the most important and iconic bands in the history of music, who are still going very strong and are continuing to make brand new music to this day as we speak. And these gentlemen, in my opinion, need no introduction whatsoever. I am talking about, of course, the one and only legendary jazz rock band Soft Machine, and this is their newest recording, Other Doors. So, Other Doors marks the first time in 5 years since 2018's Hidden Details, and this is only the second album that the band have recorded under the Soft Machine name after dropping the legacy title and going back to being known as Soft Machine. And Soft Machine have had a number of different lineup changes over the course of their history, but this current lineup for me is without a doubt the band's strongest incarnation. And this album, in some ways, you can kind of look at it as the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, which I'll talk about as we go along here. So, this album is a lot more laid back compared to Hidden Details, which had a lot more grit and was a lot more ferocious, and at times leaned a lot more closer to the progressive rock style of music. So, Other Doors is kind of going back to the band's early days when they were more of a psychedelia outfit with plenty of jazz influences in there as well. So, the current lineup of Soft Machine that's featured on this album is John Etheridge on guitars, who has been in the band since 1975 after replacing Allan Holdsworth. Theo Travis on tenor and soprano saxophones, flute, Fender Rhodes piano, and electronics, who has been in the band for 17 years now, since joining the band in 2006 after replacing the late great Elton Dean. And we've got currently the newest member of Soft Machine, Fred Thelonious Baker on fretless bass guitar, who replaces longtime cornerstone member Roy Babbington, and he's been in the band for well over 3 years already. And of course, last but surely not least, we've got the legendary John Marshall on drums, who has played in every single incarnation of Soft Machine since joining the band in 1972, and he's played in every lineup, every offshoot, every spin off you can imagine. And for me, John Marshall is one of the most iconic and legendary drummers to ever come out of the UK. And his contributions on this album are very historic and very important for a number of reasons. And we've also got a special guest appearance from Roy Babbington, who is featured on 2 tracks on this album. So, this album is very important and very historic for a lot of reasons. So, we're just going to have a little look. So, there is the guys, Baker, Travis, Etheridge, and Marshall. And we've got the sleeve notes here from the one and only Sid Smith. And for those of you who know Sid Smith, he wrote a number of great books dedicated to King Crimson. So we've got a few rework tracks from the Soft Machine Vaults, but we've also got some new compositions as well. So we've got Careless Eyes by Travis and Etheridge, Penny Hitch, which is a reworking of an old Carl Jenkins track, who, for those of you who know Carl Jenkins has gone on to become perhaps the most important composer in the history of classical music. And you could say he's done pretty well for himself. We've got Other Doors, written and composed by Etheridge, Crooked Usage by Travis, Joy of a Toy, which was a very old Soft Machine track from the late 60s. And it gets a nice little rework here, which is written and composed by Yeyes and Ratledge. A Flock of Holes by Travis and Marshall. Whisper Back by Etheridge, which is more of a solo guitar piece, which leads into the starter part, which sounds very similar to the Broken Hill from Hidden Details. And then we've got Now Is the Time, which is written and composed by Babbington and Baker, and it features both bass players together as they showcase their unbelievable bass playing and their unique approaches to the instruments. And then we've got Fell to Earth by Travis, which sounds very much in the old style of King Crimson meets Colosseum with a bit of Van der Graaf generator thrown in the mix for good measure. And then we've got The Visitor at the Window, Maybe Never, and the closer, Back in Season. For me, this is a very laid back album, as I mentioned already. But at the same time, when you hear Soft Machine, you know straight away it's them because they have a very distinct and recognizable sound. And for me, these guys have never sounded better than they do here. And I think Soft Machine, they're on a real high right now, and this is a tremendous album, in my opinion. So the standout tracks for me are Penny Hitch, Other Doors, Whisper Back, The Starter Part, Fell to Earth, and Back in Season, and Now Is the Time. But this whole entire album, I've listened to it a number of times already. It's absolutely fantastic, very lush, very spacey. You know, there's lots of psychedelically spacey sounds going on in this album, but it's really, really good. John Etheridge, what more can you say? One of the greatest guitar players of all time. He just sounds like a man possessed on the guitar. Theo Travis, one of the most reliable musicians you will ever see. He's played with everyone from Porcupine Tree to The Tangent to Gong, and he's also led his own bands with Double Talk, and he's collaborated with the legendary King Crimson guitarist Robert Fripp, and he just sounds absolutely fantastic. And he has played and continues to play a very big role in Soft Machine, and he's really made the band a much tighter unit, in my opinion, and he just sounds like an absolute monster on the saxophone and other instruments as well. Fred Thelonious Baker, a great solid bass player and a worthy successor to the legendary Roy Babbington, and he's just all over this album. And of course, how can we forget John Marshall? What more can you say? An iconic drummer, a true legend of the drum kit. And as I said at the beginning, his contributions to this album are very important because this would actually mark the final appearance of John Marshall as a full-time member of Soft Machine, as he would hang up his drumsticks for good and announce his retirement. But what a way to close out a legendary career, and he has never ever sounded better than he does here. And of course, Roy Babbington on the two tracks he's featured, he sounds absolutely fantastic. So as I said, this is the end of an era. Roy Babbington has long retired. John Marshall has now retired. So that leaves John Etheridge, Theo Travis, and Fred Thelonious Baker, and their newest member, Asif Circus, who replaces John Marshall behind the drum kit. And for those of you who know Asif Circus, he is a fantastic drummer, and he's played with everyone, and he's really made the band into a real polished and slick outfit. So, Other Doors, the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. Fantastic album. I've seen Soft Machine many times live over the years, and I love them. They're one of my favourite bands, and they just continue to keep getting better and better. So there you have it. Soft Machine, Other Doors, a historic album for many reasons, but a very enjoyable listening experience. And as I said, lots more laid back than Hidden Details, but still highly enjoyable nonetheless. And as I said, these guys have never sounded better, and they're on a real high at the moment. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the new lineup of Soft Machine go next. So should be a hell of a ride, and I'm with them every step of the way. So there you have it. Soft Machine, Other Doors. Great stuff here. So That's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite track from Soft Machine Other Doors? Is it Careless Eyes, Penny Hitch, Other Doors, Crooked Usage, Joy of a Toy, A Flock of Holes, Whisper Back, The Stars Apart, Now Is the Time, Fell to Earth, The Visitor at the Window, Maybe Never, or Back in Season? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite tracks. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Jazz Albums Review series. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.